What is up, Scarnet, bringing you a new part for the Pokemon Sun and Moon update. Again, I'm sorry for being late. I'm going to try to catch up right here and now. And the last part was up yesterday, where I talked about the new Pokemon up to this point. And of course, there's going to be new Pokemon up until the game comes out. But for today, we're going to talk about the new features that Pokemon has to offer from this point on. So, of course, the next part, there's going to be two more parts after this. The next one is going to be about the new forms of Pokemon and so on and so forth. And part 4 would be about my features that I would have in the game. But for this episode, like I said, it will be features from this point onward. And yeah, that's pretty much it. It won't be labeled 4 parts, like this won't be part 2, but you already know because it's back-to-back posting every single day throughout this week. So, now, there's a lot of stuff that went down. Like, I already introduced the Pokemon from the last episode, and there's going to be some Pokemon that I won't be saying because I'll save that for the next part. I feel like I'm being very redundant, but there's a reason I'm saying this. So, for right now, stuff that you already know is writing Pokemon. You already saw screenshots that there's been STOULAND, and LAPRAS is still a writable Pokemon. But there's actually even more Pokemon introduced after that. I do believe I did show like a Sharpedo, you know, that's something I did show last time. But there's so many Pokemon, and it's more likely that is used for so much different things, and it could even replace HM moves. For example, like Lapras would just be easy surfing, where you'd be going around and you could pick up items and do whatever you like, and you will still encounter Pokemon and such like that. Sharpedo, on the other hand, moves really fast, and you'll be able to crash into stone boulders that Lapras wouldn't be able to. And you know, just think about it in a way that like Pokemon X and Y had to offer, where Mamoswine was able to go through snow, and Rhyhorn would be able to go to gravel road. That's the kind of ways that makes writing on Pokemon different. So Lapras and Sharpedo has 2 different things to offer. So Lapras cannot smash these rocks, even though technically he would be able to by like Ice Beaming the damn rock or something. But as you see, Sharpedo is able to break these rocks without a single problem. And there's something glowing right there. Oh geez, I think there's something sparkling of some kind. Oh, hopefully I do have the picture up, or else I'll look really dumb. But either way, of course, like I said, dang it, I keep saying that. STOULAND is there, but he looks like he's more of an item finder, where you could go around and the exclamation point would be green, and then it'll turn red whenever you're really, like, you know, a game of hot and cold, where you could find the item, and that's how you would locate some certain hidden item stuff, or maybe something else like a glowing green thing. Oh geez, what's that? I still might be sounding stupid by sounding like that or whatever. But there's also other Pokemon, just like TAUROS. TAUROS is in there, and he's smashing rocks. I think smashable rocks. Of course, you wouldn't have Sharpedo doing that because he's in the middle of the land. He has no legs. And another Pokemon would be MUDSDALE. I introduced him in the last video. He is a kind of a mud-styling Pokemon. He has a pre-evolution, Mudspray. And MUDSDALE, he's able to go right across gravel road. Now, I don't know if Rhyhorn will be in the game, but he definitely replaces Rhyhorn in this case. And there's some paths that you see in some screenshots where there's an option going through the gravel road, and there's other different roads. So I imagine you're able to use either MUDSDALE and TAUROS, and having 2 different options where one could do the other and the other one can't do the other. So like, for example, MUDSDALE won't be able to go through a boulder, even though his hooves could break literally the ground without a single problem. But you know what I'm saying, like some Pokemon will have some access than others. Another Pokemon is Charizard, where Charizard is your flyer Pokemon similar to Latios or Latios. Now, this could raise up some questions whether it would do that, or if it just flies you from place to place. But it has some options that you see here on the screenshot where you could select the Pokemon whenever you want, but it won't be yours per se. So you can't have the Charizard in the beginning of your journey, but there's some Pokemon that is free for your use at any time. Especially since there's this picture where there's this white Pokeball, kind of like a signal thing that would call this Pokemon over for whenever you want. So this could very well mean that this is the replacement of HMs, which I kind of prefer because not everybody likes having Flash on a Pokemon or Rock Smash. Anybody who, I mean, Surf is fine and you know, Waterfall's fine at times, but people won't always want to carry Strength throughout the whole game. Either way though, the new team has been introduced. It is called Team Skull. And Team Skull is freaking like, it has like a Team Rocket feel to it. And there's the leader, well, it says the big sister, Plumeria, and the main leader would be Guzma. And it looks like it carries, like I said, Team Rocket feel to it, where they really want money, you know, steal Pokemon, this and that. They're kind of a gangster. Wow, it sounds weird out of my mouth, but like, you know, they're kind of a gang member type of feel to it as well. They do all these hand gestures while they're talking to you, and they battle you, and I really like the animation and music to it as well for Team Skull. And there's no really main type of Pokemon that they carry, because I see ghost types, poison types, psychic types, and so on and so forth. And I don't know if this is their base or not, but it's filled with spray paint everywhere and it looks like a dump. So it's one of those rebellion type of things where they are above the law or whatever, which makes not really Team Skull a huge threat, but I'll get to that in a little bit. Either way, the next thing that I would like to talk about is Z-moves. That is the new thing introduced. It is like the last time when I did a video before yesterday was right after that day where I posted that last video. Z-moves was a thing and they introduced it, and I wasn't really sure what it was because Cerebi didn't really have it on the page. I mean, they most likely did and I overlooked it or something, but it seems like every Pokemon type has a Z-move. Now what a Z-move is kind of like a similar move to like Hydro Cannon or Blast Burn or Frenzy Plant, except very early game. And kind of reminds me of the Power Rangers, but they do these motions where they would call upon the element to use this power. And you know, like I said, Z-moves has every single type, and there's some Z-moves that are exclusive to some Pokemon. And for example, Snorlax has a Z-move called Pulverising Pancake. I'll get to that as well. Now as for the Z-moves, the way you would get them, I'll get to that in a little bit. But well, I guess I could get that for right now, because the newest thing is island challenges. Now this is the thing that I mentioned in the last video where, you know, even though some stuff I would guess and, you know, would brag about being right or whatever, most of the time throughout this whole season of me guessing what games are coming out and guessing some stuff and predicting some stuff and others, you know, like Pokemon Z, and that didn't happen, you know, Pokemon Sun and Moon came out. Gyms, you know, I kind of guessed that and I had a real good thought about that, you know, that's like one of my highest viewed videos. Turns out there's island challenges, and there's 4 island challenges throughout the games, or 4 island trials. I sure hope there's gonna be 8 gyms, but they're saying that, well, the reason people are saying that is because Professor Hui, or whatever his name is, I kind of forget, or Kukui, I think it's Kukui, he says, oh, you're going to your journey to take on all 4 trial challenges and then face the the champion, the island champion, and then there you go, and then you'll face Before that, you'll face the kahunas of the islands, and so on and so forth. I said that completely out of order, but you know what I mean. And when it comes to the island challenges, the 4 island captains is Mallow of the grass type, Lana of the water type, Sophocles as the electric type, and Kiawe as the fire type. I might have mispronounced that, but for right now, yeah. So, what I noticed about all these 4 people is that they have these motions on it, and there was a bunch of trailers introducing Z-moves that has similar motions to it. Now, the electric Z-move is called Gigavolt Havoc, where Pikachu does this massive electric attack. And a lot of people were guessing like what was going on there, and a lot of people thought it was Synchro. You know how Ash Greninja is a thing. Well, this is kind of different. Where the person would have like a bond with this Pokemon, use the Z bracelet, put on the Z gem on there, and then do the motion for the electric Z move to power up Pikachu to do this Gigavolt Havoc. And there's also all these other types like the grass Z move known as Bloom Doom, the fire Z move known as Inferno Overdrive, and the water Z move known as Hydro Vortex. Now of course there's other Z moves available, like I already mentioned, Pulverising Pancake. Oh, and 2 new other Z moves. The new Z move is called Catastropika, where the trainer will do the same motions at the same time with Pikachu, and he does the super electrical attack. So it's not only the electric type Z move that I mentioned before with Gigavolt Havoc, that might just be electric type's Z move in general, but Pikachu has something exclusive just like Snorlax does. And so does Eevee, because Eevee has extreme Evoboost, which all the evolutions go and lends them their power, and actually stats Eevee's everything pretty much. It raises his speed, his attack, his defense, his special attack, his special defense. It is crazy. So I don't know if, I mean, just imagine if it has an Eviolite and it has all these stats in competitive, that would be pretty monstrous. I don't really know. I mean, I assume that you could only use these Z moves once, so I don't know how powerful this Eevee will be, because it's going to be really, really crazy if it could do so much, you know? And yeah, those are all a thing. And the reason I brought that up is because Mallow, Lana, Sophocles, and Kiawe do these motions, so people are trying to guess that they're the ones that gave you the Z moves. And that's why they features electric, water, fire, and grass, you know? It's because they give them to you. At least that's the guess. Obviously they're going to use them against you, but we don't know for a fact if that's going to be a thing or not. If they're the ones awarding you or someone else is. Because Professor Hala does give you the Z-move bracelet because he has one himself. And yeah, that's pretty much the thing. And another thing about the trial captains, I don't know if this is within the trial, but there's totem Pokemon. And the thing I was hinting about last video is that the totem Pokemon that has been introduced is so far Gumshoos, the normal type Pokemon. Another counterpart that I'll say for a different video that is for the nighttime, or maybe is for moon version. I'm not quite sure. I don't know if it's exclusive, but Gumshoos is one of the totem Pokemon. Lurantis is the next totem Pokemon, and Wishiwashi is another different totem Pokemon. Those are the totem Pokemon we got so far, but totem Pokemon for right here, they showed the example of Gumshoos, where there's some aura that goes around him and raises his defense, and he's able to call upon Pokemon to help him out. So it'd be kind of a SOS battle, that's what it's called. And people are guessing whether if his damage gets low enough, or not his damage, his health gets low enough, that he'll be able to do the SOS call and get another Pokemon in there to help him, just like Yungoos would pop in there, and there you go. And same goes for Lurantis and Wishiwashi. You'll be able to, or that Pokemon will be able to have others to help him out. It's a very interesting feature, and I kind of like the sound of the trial captains, but my only concern is it'll be kind of like the Orange Islands in a way, where, I mean, that's what they say so far, because Mallow, if you see in the picture, she has like a, is that called a ladle or something? She likes to cook and stuff like that, so she wants you to find ingredients or whatever. And then there's other characters that would like you to do certain objects to do the trial to complete it, and then you'll battle them, and then so on and so forth, and you'll face the Kahuna. For example, the Kahuna is going to be Hala, so you'll be able to face Hala against his Crab Brawler and his Tapu Koko. And it seems like you might do it very early on. I do believe that's where you might have the Z bracelet. And a lot of people are guessing before you face the Kahuna of Hala. If it is true that he gives you the Z bracelet, then of course it has to be before Mallow, Lana, and SOPICLES and Kiawe. So people are guessing that the normal type trial captain will come before Hala, and then you'll face Mallow, and so on and so forth. That's the guess for right now. Nothing's confirmed, so just take it with a grain of salt of what I'm saying. As for right now, what was it else? There's something else about that. I don't know. I mentioned about the Payu Kamaku. My gosh, I can never pronounce that right. I hope there's a better name for that. The Sea Cucumber water Pokemon. There's a trailer where there's a mini game where they pick up the sea cucumber and throw them back into the ocean. You'll get constipated. Constipated? No, you'll be I can't say the word. Compensated. That's the word, not constipated. Compensated for it. Now, another thing in the trailers that's been shown is that Dexio and the other girl, I do not remember her name, the assistants for Professor Sycamore show up on the island. They look like they're tourists, and they have certain clothing on, and I need to remember that I mentioned about clothing, but besides the point, they introduced about the Z-Core, and you have to collect all the Zygarde cells. Those are the little glowing things that you'll notice, like for example when you're riding on Tauros, there's something glowing green right there. Oh geez, what is that? That's the green thing I was talking about. You have to collect Zygarde cells, and I really don't know how many there are, but they're scattered throughout the islands, and there's some mission, most likely towards the end of the game, or the after game rather, where you need these Zygarde cells, and depending how much you get is depending on what Zygarde you will obtain. So I don't know if that means there'll be 100 Zygarde cells, and then you put them together, and then the 100% Zygarde form will appear, or if it's 50% or if it's 10%, just in case you don't really care for getting all the Zygarde cells, or unless you're doing it on purpose because you like Zygarde 10% form better than 100% or 50% or whatever. That's my guess, but I don't really know if it's the case. I really do like the concept though. It's because it's a collectathon thing where it really depends on you whether you want to do the full ditch effort of finding all of them, or if you want to find some along the way, or if it's not so out of the way, because you know it's how some people would look at something. It's like, oh, I'll get that item later, never come back for it again. For those people that wants to make the effort of getting it will get rewarded for it, you know, that makes sense. That makes sense in general. So the next thing about it, well, there's a new 3DS, and I need to remember about the clothing thing. Dexio had a shirt on that has like a certain Pokemon on it, and I'll get to that Pokemon in a little bit. But the reason I bring that up is because the clothing it has really shows how much customization there are in Pokemon in general. It's not just that you know, you could customize the people whatever clothes you like. You could do it with hairstyles too. You don't even have to keep the hat on anymore, because it shows on the battle royale that you know, there's pictures like that you'll have the same t-shirt as Dexio has, and different hairstyles that has never been seen before, based upon just besides the default character that's been shown here, you know. And without the hat and everything, it just really shows the diversity of everything. And every island, it seems like, has their own style on the shirt sign, because on the map right here, there's different well, there's different locations that's been introduced, and we get a better look of. Just like this island right here, kind of has like a Chinese type of theme. T-shirt, or not really T-shirt. That doesn't make sense of this Chinese thing, but you know, on the sign it has that, and on this sign it has something else, and you know, and so on and so forth. All these signs for the clothing store has different insignias representing it. Speaking of which, for the first one where I was saying the Chinese theme, you can see other signs that shows a potion, and you know, besides the clothing one, there's a different one right there where it shows a hammer. Now we're not really sure what that is as of yet, but nonetheless is very interesting. Now I did mention about like the trial captains, but I want to say that Sophocles is inside the the observatory based upon all the electronics, and I like how his t-shirt has like a Game Boy, and he has like a Pikachu keychain and such like that. But the observatory I know is very close to the mountaintop, and I know that that's considered a holy place, and people are petitioning about it, whether to have the observatory to not even be even remotely close to the holy place because of how holy it is, which is very interesting to me. But based upon that place, that's where Sophocles is. So we're guessing that Mallow is in the second island, and oh no, sorry, no, that doesn't make sense. Mallow's in the first island, Lana's in the... Wait, Sophocles should be in the second island. No, I'm really confused about that now. Because if Sophocles is on that island, that means Lana would... I don't know, because I feel like Lana would be on that one, because that's where Wishy Washy would be. Unless... Which one's the one with the water basins? I'm getting everything confused right now. Just ignore me. I probably fix it in editing or something. So like I said before, the Pokemon anime for Sun and Moon has been introduced. And there's also Pokemon Generations as of right now. Episode 1 and 2 came out. And it really did show a different side to Pokemon, and I really enjoyed. Other than that, there's other things introduced, which is like Team Aether. You know, it shows that's where the artificial island is. It's not the Pokemon League, and it's not the after game portion. You do show up there early, and it does show that Hala goes with you on a boat every now and then. I don't know if it's the same trip, but you know, besides, well, you know, as a side note, Kukui is with you, emphasizing on the fact of the time change of 12 hours, and you see this island up ahead, and it shows differences here and there. But besides the fact, I was getting back to this artificial island. This is the Aether Foundation, or I want to say Aether, but they say it's pronounced Ether, which is very interesting. And I want to say that this is a team, to say the least, but they claim that they're doing it for the love of Pokemon, and they want to help out Pokemon and such like that. And they're pure white, and they have a symbol, and all the characters there is, you know, Lucamine, Faba, Wiki? I don't know if that name's correct. And also in that same trailer, Gladion was introduced as one of Team Skull's members. And there's some more to it, but I don't really want to get deep onto it about that part as of yet. But to say the least, it is rather interesting. But yeah, that's so far what I gotten. But what I wanted to mention is that the Aether Foundation, the word means that, you know, it's pure. It's supposed to be like, oh, we're above people, I suppose, or kind of like an alchemy type of thing, kind of like well, it's interesting because it's an artificial island, and I don't know if that's against cultural views or not, but since they said there's some more to it about it, I don't know what exactly it was, but the Aether Foundation nonetheless looks like they actually make something out of it. that's why I thought like Jangmo-o is something. I don't know. I always thought that because they do extra stuff about Pokemon. I'm not gonna say yet what it is. If you really want to find out, you're gonna have to know on the following episode of Pokemon Sun and Moon Update. I don't know if that series what it's actually called, but as of right now, that's all the information that is worth mentioning, really, because I pretty much covered everything in a very fast motion. Other Pokemon types, Z moves, has been shown on the trailer, like, you know, Gengar using his Ghost one, and there's Poison, obviously Ice has been shown, and so on and so forth. Obviously, there's all the other ones, and like I wanted to mention, Snorlax has a Z move, Pulverising Pancake, and if you pre-order the game, you'll get yourself a Munchlax with the Snorium Z, which is kind of weird because I don't know. I mean, people say it's replacing Mega Evolutions, but I still feel like Mega Evolutions will eventually come. We just have to be patient for it. Other than that, there's some screenshots here and there that I might have not covered. If I haven't not covered, I'll probably cover it in part 5 or something because I'm recording all these back to back. So for right now, that's all the information I will give. Like I said, the next part, all the forms of the new Pokemon and more. And part 4 would be features that I would put in the game. With that being said, you've been scarred by the night. I'm out.